Remember? Crease. He was a nice guy, right? Okay, chapter 6, the enemy deserves no mercy. The enemy I'm talking about is CRPS. So this is where we are today with Jasmine. It's been a year and a half with her. This is how she presented. This is where we are. First off, she's scheduled next month. This is going to happen all in the month of May and then first week in June. She's going to have something different done because we got to shut down her stomach. We shut her stomach down, she's going into remission because everything else has been accounted for. Okay? She's also going to have another epidural blood patch, but that we know we brought that thing way down. Now, look what we're doing. We've got to do something different. We don't want to do the same thing again because it didn't work. So this doctor said we're going to block the celiac and splanchnic nerves. They're separate nerves that all innervate the organs of digestion. Okay? And then assuming she gets 100% relief, which I'm guessing she's going to, he's then going to ablate those nerves together, left and right side, and he's going to do a different kind of burn. It's going to be a more aggressive burn that really will make sure that he severs those sensory nerves that come off of these plexus. So it should end this thing with regard to her stomach. Okay, that's coming up next month. She's going to have another blood patch. That's scheduled for May 3rd, I believe. It's coming up. Because she's at 75%. I shoot for zero pain. Shoot for zero symptoms. Okay, so remember Vince Lombardi, great football coach, he said, we strive for perfection. No, we'll never achieve it, and we'll settle for excellence along the way. Okay? So I go for 100%, and we'll see what's left after that. We're going to repeat that blood patch. That can be done 1, 2, 3 more times, whatever it takes, as long as we keep getting improvement. You got to go after these triggers, and you got to fix what's broken. You know, these things were never addressed. And what if she came in and she had 2 broken arms, and the bones are sticking out to the skin, and she's in agony? Would you say, well, you got CRPS, you got chronic pain? No, you fix the broken arms, right? Because it's so obvious that this stuff maybe wasn't so obvious, but it's there, and you got to know how to look for it. Okay? So on top of that, she also gets massage therapy. This is critical for you guys. Massage gets blood flow, keeps the muscles loose. It breaks up all the junk that gets stuck in these muscles that are spasming. Okay, that helps. And she's on LDN. She's on vitamin C, alpha lipoic. The things you know about magnesium. She's on pregabalin. She has ketamine troches, such. Very important. She's working out. So the exercise is good because it re-regulates the body's temperature mechanism. Teach your body to sweat. Teach your body to cool down. And most important for Jasmine is this. She's working with a nutritionist because she has to learn how to eat again. These blocks, they've helped her. She's not as bad as she was, but she's nowhere near as good as we're going to get her when these procedures are done. Now, with that said, one more thing. In case you're wondering, why didn't you try ketamine? We heard that lecture, IV ketamine infusion. And the protocol that the doctor put up there was actually the protocol that she had. What happened was the ketamine would lasted, the effect of it, each time she had it, lasted for about a day or so, and then the stomach thing came back with a viciousness, right back to where it was. Okay, so that's why the decision was made. You know what? We're just going to end this thing. Let's just sever those sensory nerves off the celiac plexus, splanchnic plexus areas, and let it be done. Because we've tried everything else that can be. It's time to end this thing and let her get back some quality of life. It's been quite a journey for her. Okay? So here's the bottom line. There is no one treatment that is the treatment. You heard that from other doctors. This has to be a multifactorial hit. And you got to hit this thing as many different ways as you can. I got plexus bloods, I got massage, I got medicines. You know, we got the ablation, we got the blood pump. We got to do everything you can to knock back pain and then to go after this CRPS and knock this thing into remission. Okay, now, that takes me to the final chapter, chapter 7. And I call this Nobody Puts Baby in the Corner. Dirty dancing. We all know that. Okay, and also this will be epilogue. So, when Jasmine first contacted me, she was referred to me through the RSD Foundation, like I've told you, for routine dental care. And the first time I spoke to her, we spoke for quite a while. I like to do that with any patient considering referral to me. I do my own interview over the phone. I want to make sure, before they come to me, that I'm sure I can help them, so I can figure things out over the phone in our first conversation. So Jasmine told me about her dental experience that was horrible, and she also told me how sick she's been. And she also told me how much she's been suffering, for how many years this has been going on, and she really sounded very sad and almost despondent, because she's years and years of suffering. And she also told me about her dear and best friend from back home, Jenna Sue. Jenna Sue also had CRPS, but Jenna Sue lost her battle with CRPS. And in my conversation with Jasmine, in this first conversation, she told me about Jenna and what happened to her. And she was afraid that she too was going to lose her battle with Crips. And when she said that to me, I said, you know what? Rather than mourn the death of your friend and fear that you too will lose your battle, why not dedicate your recovery to the memory of your dear friend? Because hope lives when people remember. So let me show you. Here's Jasmine, a year and a half later. Beautiful spirit. And if you look at this and you say, well, you know what? If a picture is worth 1,000 words, then tell me, what is the life of the person in that picture worth? And the person most qualified to answer that question truly is Jasmine. And Jasmine's here. She's in the audience. So I'm going to call her up. And I ask all of you here today, with your applause, and I mean, make it loud. Even hurts a little bit. Give it up, everybody, for a true Crips warrior, a true Crips fighter, true Crips crusher, Jasmine.
Honored to be here today and grateful to be able to share my journey, to be a voice to help others who are going through the same experiences. I would like to first off thank Dr. Gittelson for taking on my complex case, truly listening to me, and for finding what hundreds of doctors, specialist clinics all missed. I can never thank you enough for giving me a second chance at this precious life. I would like to thank the Salvaggio family for selflessly taking me in and caring for me for the last 2 years while I have been receiving long-term medical care in New York. Lastly, I would like to thank all of my supporters who have been there for me and kept me fighting. I live with the most painful condition known to science along with many other diagnoses. I have been fighting this horrific battle since I was a 13-year-old girl, a child. My whole life changed in a blink of an eye and only kept getting worse. I traveled all over the U.S. for medical treatments, therapies, and to find answers. My quality of life was non-existent. I have lost everything I have ever loved in the last 13 years. Relationships, family, they just don't understand and get tired of you being chronically ill and not getting better and end up leaving. I have been through medical, dental, emotional, and domestic abuse. I am a survivor, and I am living and thriving, and I am strong, and I have taken my pain and turned it around, and it has given me a purpose to share my life experiences with the world and make it a better place. And I promise you, if you have faith and you put your mind to it and you work hard, and don't listen to the rejection, you can handle anything life throws your way. My fight with CRPS is far from over. I continue to receive treatments for my CRPS and are addressing the last couple of triggers that are keeping my CRPS in flare. Remission is the end goal, but as we all know, this condition will always be a part of my life now. Once you're diagnosed, I would like to thank you for having me here today to share my journey with all of you, and I dedicate my fight to my beautiful friend Gemma, who also suffered with this condition. She was my inspiration. She is loved and missed deeply. Thank you guys.
Okay. Questions?
About 5 minutes for questions, and then we'll follow up with the panel.
Sure.